Hey, how y'all doing? This is the Spice. Life. I know it's been a minute. Miss you guys.
Yes.
We really miss you guys.
Yes.
But we're here.
Yes, here. We are here, Christopher.
We're going to talk a little bit about what happened.
Yes.
What you got, though?
We got some news for you. But before we start, we like to clear like we normally do and let you guys know about some things that we...
Friendly reminders.
Yeah, we want you guys to do. And one piece of good news is we're almost to 1,000 TikTok followers.
What?
We just need a few more. Help us out with that, guys. Hopefully we'll get there next month.
Yeah, it opens up other things too.
Exactly. So we have a website, www.thespice life. You can follow us on there if you want to. We do some posts. We're going to do some different things on our website too, different little blog posts and definitely things that we post as far as podcasts and etc. Also, our podcast is hosted on Podbean. Please follow us on that. You can follow us on our audio podcast
directly, yeah.
And we're going to be doing some lives on that too. So it's good to go there and follow. These links are going to be in the description below. So we're on Apple Podcasts, Samsung, Amazon, Google, Pandora. And guess what? I'm sure that if you if you put us in whatever podcast platform that you're using, if you put Spice Life in there, you may see us. So follow us here on YouTube, on also Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok. And all of these sites are on our link tree as well. That is in the link below as well. Back to you, Christopher.
Back to little old me. Back to me. Back to me.
Yeah.
Back to me. So, guys, we'll get right down to it. We had COVID.
Yes.
It was not good.
Yes.
No fun.
Yes. So, there has to be a person to bring it in the house.
What? I wasn't gonna go there, but
you wasn't?
Who you think it was?
It was me. But guess what, guys? I don't know how I got it. I really don't. I do not know.
Because you the mask queen.
Yeah.
We was like, where we going? Make it your mask. You got mask? Where's the mask? Who's the mask?
I thought that I was.
Mask.
But
and you made sure we had all our shots. Like, get the shot.
Yeah, we had our boosters and everything.
But some people got 1 shot, 2 shot, who shot, new shot. So everybody had different shots. So
yeah. And I had my hand sanitizer too.
They had hand sanitizer. You had ammonia, bleach. I mean, you had everything.
And Lysol, disinfectant stuff.
I mean, you had like a hospital on top of a hospital up in here.
Yeah, but for some reason, I got COVID. But the crazy thing about it, guys, is I thought that it was a sinus infection. So, basically, when we were walking one Thursday, and this was the beginning of October. So we were walking. And I was feeling, my sinus is draining in the back of my throat. So I was telling Chris, I'm like, you know what? I think I'm coming down with something. My sinuses are draining in the back of my throat. To me, that's a sign that, hey, either I'm going to have a sinus infection or something is going on. So I think on one of those occasions I had bronchitis. But that was
bronchitis or something.
Yeah, that was a few years ago.
So I didn't barbecue out there.
So I didn't think anything of it, but the next day, my throat, this was a Friday, my throat was fire. It was burning up. So that next day, I did take a COVID test and it came up negative. So I was like, I told Christopher, I told everybody, I took a COVID test. I don't feel good. My throat is sore. I was actually, it was very scratchy. I'm saying when I couldn't drink orange juice. I couldn't drink anything with citrus in it. In fact, a coworker gave me a recipe, and Christopher made it for me for like a lemon, and I think it was lemon and honey. You know,
I think I put lime, ginger.
Yes, and ginger. I couldn't drink that because it tore my throat up, so I couldn't do, and certain cough drops I couldn't do. So I just thought, man, maybe this my sinuses draining the back of my throat. This has caused, my throat to be a little raw, and but it was just that I didn't start coughing. But the next day, Saturday, the cough started, and I'm like, okay, I'm coughing up the mucus, like you normally do, because I was thinking I took that COVID test. It is not COVID. So I was feeling worse as the day progressed. Yep. Sunday, I had still thinking I had the sinus infection. I loaded up on some medication to subside the symptoms. So I took stuff for pain as well, because at that time I started feeling little pains in different parts of my body. I was like, well, maybe it's because I was sleeping. I'm aching here, I'm aching there. Took pain medicine, over the counter pain medicine, and I took some stuff to dry up all of that stuff, the sinuses. I loaded up on vitamin C, everything, because I had somewhere to be. Very important to be. So for hours I was good. Came home about 2 hours after I came home. That cough came back with a vengeance. It was crazy, guys. I'm telling you, I didn't want to do anything. I became nauseous. I was coughing to where this cough, when I cough, it's like when you have those coughs that you can't do anything. And Chris, I know that probably scared you. It stopped me in my tracks.
I was worried about you.
Yeah, he was worried about me because I started, I was nauseous. Of course, I was vomiting because of that cough. And he was like, put your stuff on. We're going to take you to the emergency room. He was concerned.
Yeah, because it was like a hard, it was like and then she was coughing so hard that it took her almost into where she started gagging because of the coughing. So the coughing itself, because it was like just a hard cough. That's what a thing, because she couldn't control it. So
yes,
we had to. I said, let me go and get you to an emergency and see what's going on.
Exactly. So
that's what I did.
Went to the emergency room, and I was trying to get a lady my information. I couldn't even stand at the nurse's station. I couldn't stay in that. I couldn't stay in the waiting room, guys. That air was thick. Mm-hmm. I started coughing more. I'm like, I can't be in here. I felt better when I was outside breathing the fresh air in the sun.
Yeah, and just so you know, I'm pretty sure most places. I'm not going to name the hospital, but if it's not literally life, you lose your life right there, you're gonna wait.
Yes.
And just like most of the people there in the emergency, you're waiting. Mm-hmm. Because it's an emergency more to you. But they were nice. The staff was nice. Everybody in there was very nice, very professional, very helpful. And every particular person that we came across I had to deal with was very nice. But it takes a minute to get to a doctor, get all that done. But it got done.
Yes, it did.
I felt a little better mentally. I can imagine that I know Angela didn't feel better physically, but I think them checking her, giving her peace of mind, that helped mentally, I believe.
And guess what they didn't do? They did not. They asked me if I had COVID.
Right. They took your word for it.
I told them that I took that. This was on Sunday. I said, I took a test on Friday. It was negative. They did not say, well, let me give you another one. They didn't. So basically, guys, they they took an X-ray. They wanted to see how my lungs, I think. They want to see whether it was full of liquid. Is it liquid? Did I say that right? Fluid.
That's the same.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
So I took my X-ray. It was clear. My X-ray was good. Looked good. So basically, they prescribed me things for a sinus infection. That's what they said. I had sinusitis or sinus infection. So I got prescriptions for some very powerful cough syrup, which was good. I appreciate that. I got some antibiotics and some steroids. I think it was called prednisone or whatever it is. Also some stuff for what you call it, some antihistamine, to help dry this. And also the Z-Pack, whatever that is. I had like 6 prescriptions and some nose spray. I'm telling you, when I got home the next day, in fact, when did you start doing the symptoms? I mean, when we got, I was glad to get those prescriptions. Well, I couldn't get it to the next day.
You wasn't feeling well. That wasn't the same day. You started not feeling well like 2 days before that, I think.
Well, I'm talking about you.
It was before we went to the hospital. I've told you that something was wrong with me the day after you started, maybe 2 days after you.
But yours
when you took the test, I said, oh, something's off. But I didn't think nothing about it because when you took the test and it was negative, I didn't say, well, I don't know, but I got something from you. I don't know what that is. But we didn't think, it's not like, I didn't think much about it. I don't think Angela thought nothing about it because she's just trying to get herself together. So it was before, I remember talking about it a little bit before we even went to the hospital, but didn't think nothing about it. But when you got back and started, taking your medicine and getting better, I know I was getting worse. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was agreeing. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I thought you was. Yeah, and the biggest thing was the my throat. Sorry about that, guys. My throat. It got thrown out. It was very painful.
Yeah. And he was describing his symptoms like, man, that's exactly what happened with me. What is going on? It wasn't until everybody else started complaining in the house. I'm like, wait a minute. And by this time, this was Wednesday. And I was so puzzled. I'm just sitting there. And by that time, because I was like, I was letting my coworker know what was going on because I was like, something's not right here. And I said, I took a COVID test. I know it's not COVID. He said, well, why don't you take another COVID test? And I did, guys. And that's when it lit up. It was COVID. So I came downstairs and I was like, yeah, guys. I mean, of course, I had lost my voice already. I was like, I got COVID. You should have heard everybody. They were like, no. Oh, why'd you do this to us? Wow. I mean, I already was feeling bad anyway. So it's like, I'm like, come on. I'm like, wow. So I was like, everybody got to take a test in the house. So everybody took a test in the house. At that point, it was 4 out of 6. Us, me, myself, my daughter, my son. Me, myself, Chris, my daughter, and my son had tested positive for COVID. My son-in-law and my grandbaby, they were negative, but they were displaying symptoms. And then after we found out, that was kind of interesting, that our grandbaby, she had a fever. And we had already got the medicine and everything because we already knew that they was going to get it too. It was coming.
Our grandson has had it before. I mean, our grandson, our son-in-law.
Yes, he had it before.
So you can catch it again and again, and it doesn't matter if you take the shot. I think that people think, oh man, you take this shot, you ain't supposed to get it. And first of all, there's a certain percentage. Your chances are lower, but also, it helps with dealing. It takes you through the process a little better.
Yes,
from what I know of it, and symptoms are not as bad.
That's true.
So yeah,
that's true. He but he was, I think he was complaining of some symptoms though, and that's why we knew it was coming. So days go by, and our granddaughter, she had symptoms, but after that one fever, she didn't never pick up a fever after that. But we were a little concerned because she's a baby, she's a pandemic baby. Plus she when she was born, she was premature. She was only 3 pounds when she was born, so she did have some breathing problems. So we were concerned about that. Even during the COVID, that was our main concern. We was very afraid for her to get COVID. So, but she pulled through. Everybody pulled through. We had COVID for how long? I know mine's lasted about 3 weeks. I think I had it worse.
Yeah, she had it worse. So the exact time it was all different times.
Yeah.
So I couldn't say how long we had it. But I do know that it kind of, the biggest thing I noticed is that the cough lingers for everybody. And we all have different coughs up in here, how we cough and how it affects us. Because as a kid, I had a little bit of asthma. It was minor. So it does affect me differently. I can't pretend to describe how her throat or how her inner side, all that felt with her, but mine's is undescribable. I hadn't felt a pain like that ever in my throat.
I felt
and it go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, you say you don't know how I felt. I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna let you finish.
No, that's fine. I'm not gonna. I
felt like somebody scratched my throat and it was bleeding, and that's how bad it was.
Yeah,
I know that was graphic. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I remember her cough was pretty sad. That's my first. So it was bad. It seemed like it was bad for her as well. So I remember her cough was terrible. It was terrible because, like, again, we the way it made us cough, it just affected us differently. So,
and also too, we experienced insomnia because of that cough. We weren't able to really get a restful sleep. So, and our energy was gone. So one thing that I want to just let everybody know is that, I was careful, but also make sure, even if you're experiencing that, because we thought it was something else. COVID is different today. The symptoms are not like they were before, but I would highly recommend you take the COVID test with whatever. I mean, I know I took it on the second day, even with a sore throat, but it still turned up negative. Wait a few days. Just take it. Take that test to confirm what you have, because right now I'm hearing a lot of news about the flu. To my flu season, I know people getting the flu still, but those symptoms that they talk about, we had them.
I know for a fact they were saying, well, what's the difference between a cold and a flu and this form of COVID that we have? The difference between all three of them, first of all, is obvious. They're not exactly all going to be the same kind of symptoms. In fact, the flu is more similar to COVID, but the contagiousness of COVID is stronger than the contagiousness of flu. So if Angela got the flu, I could get it, but it's not gonna, the chances of running through the whole house is very low. It's not that high.
Yeah.
But when somebody in this around you get COVID and you live around them, it'll be very difficult unless you do some major quarantine not to get it. And we did that when our son-in-law called.
Yeah.
Yep. You remember that?
I remember. And yeah.
Again, because I know Angela don't play. She was all over it. Jordan did a great job too. Our daughter.
Yeah, she did. She
did a great job of quarantining her husband, but also making sure he was okay.
Yes.
And those things were interesting, and we was on top of that. But with Angela, what messed us up, I believe, was that Angela, she took the test the first time and it showed her as negative.
Yes.
And again, you could tell if you with me anyway, as soon I knew, I said, I got something. I can feel it. Your whole body starts to change. Even though I wasn't coughing that earlier, when I realized my throat didn't, but I slowly felt it start to affect my throat a little bit, and I slowly saw a difference. And then all of a sudden, the big thing was I woke up one morning and it was just, again, it was terrible. And it was hard to explain. It was funny because I mentioned to Angela, and the first thing she said is that, oh, you snore. I was like, okay, this is snoring. Then I think I need to go to the doctor. I don't want to snore again because this is way on another level.
Yeah.
But she didn't know. But I believe that that's the biggest difference. Like I said, it is contagious way more. That's why they did what they did with quarantining, and it changed the whole globe, so to speak, because it was just so easy to catch, and it affected people so differently, and people literally lost their life. People that perceived to be healthy, even though we know people with immune systems and all these side elements and things can get it worse and die. But yeah, that was crazy.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. That was scary getting it. And also our heart goes out to anybody that's been affected, and a lot of folks still are dealing with the health issues from that, and also lost loved ones. So our heart goes out to you guys. We lost loved ones too from COVID. And our heart goes out to our family too.
You really young ones or really older ones the most, and then of course immune compromise and all that. So yeah, that's pretty sad. And it's still some people I hate to say it's still people. No, there's not a people say, oh well, nobody not down from COVID. Yeah, people still do. The numbers are way lower. As you can see, our bodies, it fights and corrects itself in the immune system, whether you take a shot or not. Our bodies know how to keep fighting through. That's why we're resilient and our population grows. But yeah, so we got through that. That's a done deal.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't bring it back around again.
Also, I want to say too, there is medication that people can take. I would try to get it, guys. I'm telling you, if I ain't had that medicine, woo.
And I didn't go.
I'm telling you,
I could have took myself to the hospital. I did not do it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to ask Angela to do that because she wasn't feeling good anyway.
Well, I would say this. When I called that day that I found out my family, everybody had COVID, I called what do you call those places? Those emergency places. But anyway, outpatient emergency places. I'm sorry, but
little healthcare places. I know.
Yeah, urgent care. So I called urgent care, and I'm telling you, they said, "Hey, they're not seeing you. I mean, if they know you had COVID, they're just gonna tell you to get some over-the-counter stuff.
Yeah, take care of yourself.
I'm gonna tell you this: if you're experiencing those symptoms, I would call the doctor, see a doctor, or have the doctor do some prescription for something, and go to cdc.gov. They will tell you some medication. There's a medication that people can take that have like very, that are immune compromised. We'll call it immune compromised. So get on that like really quick. And also, I was I think from my understanding, if you go on that site, they probably would tell you if you're treating over counter. And I know for the flu, they always do this Tamiflu or some other type of flu medication that stops it or helps you with the symptoms to kind of make them a little bit lesser. If you can get those symptoms to kind of be subsided or whatever, that is the best thing. I waited too long. I think I waited too long to try to treat my symptoms the way, and they got worse. That's why my COVID lasted longer, and it probably was a little worse because I didn't right away get on it. So just get on it right away. Get your doctor involved. See if you can get some prescriptions, because when I got that medication, things were different for me. I started feeling better almost 4 to 6 hours after I started taking that medicine.
Yeah, you had some good medicine.
Yes. Yeah, that cough syrup.
I think I need some cough bags. And you was like, we getting on my cough medicine
because they gave it to me in the emergency
room.
Cough medicine. that emergency room. They gave me some codeine. That stuff was good for my cough. That helped my cough.
We actually made a little medicine station. So all of us had our ibuprofens and nasal stuff and eye stuff and throat stuff and cough. We had it all in one area in our station. So when we needed something, we just go there, take it, leave it there,
Yeah.
And so we had tons of stuff. And then all of us I went and bought us all our own cough drops.
Yes.
And stuff like that. And so.
Now, I had the cough drop without the stuff in the middle. That messed me up, the stuff with the stuff in the middle.
Bad ones out there, there's some good ones out there. I'm not going to say any names.
Yeah,
that's just an opinion.
I like the cough drops that taste like candy, and that's the one that
everybody did. And then I had another one that was real good too.
Yeah.
So here's the connection. So how it affected us, as you can see, it knocked us off our groove. And we talked about that before. So we had something physically happen that affected us mentally in a sort of way.
Yes.
Because as far as the power of the walk, getting out there, getting things done, we need to get done, exercising, all that. Us talking to you guys out there, all that changed and knocked us off our duff for a while. Of course, we got a lot of very loving and caring friends.
Yes.
A lot of people that was there and that came to help and soup and food and chicken, right, and this and that and you name it.
Yes.
Got us all kinds of stuff.
We have some really good friends. Really good friends. We appreciate it so much. I mean, it took a load off. I mean, it's already stressful. The whole house is sick. And at that time, everybody tested positive. Yeah, my granddaughter and my son-in-law, they took another test a couple of days later. Yeah, that was a positive. So we were all sick. And Christopher was still trying to cook for us guys. He was sick. And he was trying to cook for us. But at the same time, it's like he was tired, but we appreciate it so much. But at the same time, he needed to rest. He needed to get his rest too. I love my family. And everybody was just down. Energy level was just out the door. We just wasn't feeling good.
Yeah, I look back at that. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what I was thinking.
So our friends came through for us, and we are so appreciative. You just don't know how much. And when the soup came, I was like, because when we did lose a little taste for it. Oh yeah, but the stuff did kind of taste a little different.
Everybody didn't lose taste, but some people did. I know me. I think it was me, Angela, Jordan did.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was somebody else, but it's funny. Some of us lost taste. Yeah. Some of it came back a certain way.
Yeah, and stuff was tasting different
and that's
too.
Crazy. This is different. So, like our, stuff lingers, cough lingers, stuff. When we even came off the test. So this is how I'll tell you this. My test, like even though I think I caught COVID before my son, he was negative before I was. That was weird. I think Jordan and them were negative too, but for some reason they didn't want to take a test. They bought enough tests to build their own home.
Well, they didn't buy that. That was actually from our insurance.
Well, they got enough tests.
Oh yeah.
So
they got four. They
brought them into the house, and when I said
four tests
so
per
they
person.
Got so many tests, and then Angela had got some tests too. So my point is that it had the way everybody came negative different, but because they didn't, for some reason, they wasn't going to test itself. Now once I tested it, I think a second or third time, I was finally negative. They just sent a text, we all negative too. Yeah, we good too. So I don't know exactly when they might have took the test or became negative, but they were eventually. But I just know, and I felt like from my thing, it was just different times. So we got it at different times. I don't know exactly. I know Angela caught it first, but it's just crazy.
Yeah. So basically, I tested negative first, and I was so happy. And then my son you tested positive again. Then I tested my son. He tested negative. And at that time, my daughter had took another one. She was positive again. And I said, well, why don't y'all wait a few days? So when they waited a few days and they took it again, they took it like 2-3 days later, they were negative. And you were negative before they were. So it was me, Jalen, you, and then them, because they all took it at the same time. So we took it. I think we were, I don't know if that even mean anything, as far as who got it, because you did, you became sick. I think all of us kind of, of course I was first. Man, yeah. Time flies. Man, time flies when you're having fun, guys. So
you know what that means? Probably got to do a part
2.
Duh.
Yeah, we got to do a part 2, guys. So thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for your support. We appreciate it. Have a beautiful day, my friends.
Man. Yes. And thank you for joining us on the Spice
Live.
See you next time.